You have the mic in.
I had the microphone.
Oh, you had the mic and you
No,
just
dude.
You can lose your job for that, right?
Right.
If you mess with
Once
me,
I know you sensitive,
I'm not sensitive.
back off.
Who said I was sensitive?
Dude, I ain't gonna never say nothing.
You can't say.
Because see, what I don't want to do is I don't want to pull you away from your comfort level.
You can tell somebody about to be disrespectful when they start doing all the extra hand stuff. What's the name of the goddamn team?
Commanders.
50% more meat, extra portions that taste extra good.
Why they pay me on the freaking trip?
So this is another episode of Chalk Talk where we talk chalk or chalk talk or we talk a lot of shit. All right, I want to go. I got to get straight to it, and I know you guys being part of the Redskins history of when Redskins were a winning team, and we knew the song "Hail to the Redskins." It was about Redskins. How do you personally feel about the name change from the Washington football team to the Commanders?
Playing sports your whole life, you start in your little league. Your name changes throughout your whole sports career. That name change. I was a JMU Duke.
Right.
I wasn't a JMU Redskin. So you're used to change. At the end of the day it's the spirit of the name and the spirit of the community that you're playing for. At the end of the day, we're a Washington football team. Right. That wasn't a bad name to start with anyway. But now they're the Commanders. I'm behind them 100%.
This is a congressman for me. He was Native American. I had stopped saying it 90% of the time 15 years ago because he said it was offensive, and I, as a person who was called several different things before 1968 when James Brown said, "Say it loud." Right. I'm black and I'm proud.
Right.
Up until then, colored, Negro, all these different things. So I had already been on this cartwheel of really who are we? How do we identify? So if it's offensive, I dropped it. But again, it doesn't matter to me. The colors were kind of important, but now nothing matters to me other than that they win.
How did you stay away from the pitfalls and all the party life, all the rumors, and for the most part, your career was unscathed. No incident, no Gary's out here doing this. How did you do that?
I think for me, a lot of it had to do with, it starts in your household when you're a kid. I'm a deacon son, right? So don't get me wrong. I mean, I can be an asshole like anybody else. I just can. Like if you get on my wrong side, I'm that other guy.
Right.
But for the most part, I'm a good guy unless you get on that other side of me. Then I become this other thing that nobody wants to be a part of. But for me, it's just, it always comes back to a protocol that you come into. When I came into the organization, like Doc was one of my mentors when I came into the organization, but there's also a certain protocol of what was expected of you. Mm-hmm. Right off from day one, what's expected of you. And I think when you have that type of leadership that's in your locker room, you can't help but to start off on a good note. Because what was expected was to win and to perform.
Hey, win with style, man. Win with style. Great job, hey. Proud of all of you, man.
I'm the first on myself. If I play bad, if I do something bad, nobody had to correct me. I was going to correct myself. People thought I was crazy when I first came to the team because if I dropped a pass, I was going to curse myself out. That's just what it was. But if you did something that I saw that I know that you shouldn't do, I'm going to get in your face. I don't care how big or how small you are. At the end of the day, because I'm here to win, period.
You said that it's one side that we don't know, or getting on your bad side. Do you remember, was there ever a time when somebody got on your bad side and you thought you was going to flip to the Gary that nobody knows?
Well, when you play, that's one thing the best thing about football is when you play, I want you, our opponents, to get on my bad side. Mm-hmm. I want you to talk shit to me. Mm-hmm. I thrive on it. Being my father's son, I could never start it. But my dad allowed me, if you did start with me, then I could retaliate. Right. If you started, I could retaliate. I could never start it. So if a defensive back is talking trash to me, I'm going to retaliate by telling him what the hell I'm going to do, what play I'm going to run, and then I'm going to destroy him and doing it because the best thing about it is still a psyche. Am I telling him the truth? He has to think, am I lying? Well, I did in Super Bowl 26. I'm going corner, stop it.
And touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, as a young kid, I always was like fourth string in everything I played. And for me, I never cared about being a starter. Only thing I wanted to do was be on the team. Because we was poor as hell. Being on the team mean like, especially like basketball, I got free leather shoes. You know what I'm saying? Me being a comedian, I was like, I just wanted to be. It was
you
the truth.
get those
That's
sneakers.
fair.
Your eighth grade basketball team,
Yeah.
you get that free pair of sneakers. I was like that too.
I'm telling you, you never know the feeling of your coach. My last name is Rawlings. Your coach look at you right in your face and yell somebody else's name, right? They used to look at me right in my face and say, Johnson. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm Rawlings. Am I ever going to get in the game? What does it take for an athlete today, and you cover all sides of sports, to go from being good to being great?
Teammates. If you're not on a really good team, you might not be able to get to the greatness, the level. I was privileged to have Art Monk in that huddle. Have him in that huddle. Terry Metcalf, a guy I never want to leave out. Or when I saw greatness in Bobby Mitchell. I'm coming from a real racial area or time in my life to where it's first generation opportunities. So I know what inclusion feels like. I know that Bobby Mitchell and what he had to incur being the first African American. And to me, I was always appalled by the fact that, wait a minute, hold it, we're talking about the nation's capital.
Right.
You mean the nation's capital was the worst, the most racist? Yeah, that's what they're saying. On the team, and they were allowed to do that? Yeah. And this guy survived it, and then he was great, and he would give you time. Sitting there talking with Bobby, and I saw how he was dealt with, and I thought, wow. It was overwhelming for me, because I know the pain he had to endure. And so to me, it's always very personal, and I never not say that.
Right. Who now, with the team now, has those work ethics? Because we talked about last episode how Art Monk was be the first one that he was always practicing, always sharpening his tool, whatever. When you look at these young guys right now,
McLaurin.
Who?
Terry McLaurin.
Hands
Scary
down.
Terry?
Yeah, hands
He's a
down.
beast.
You know, there's a lot of, when you talk about him, it's hard for people to talk about him without associating with you guys of what he's doing right now.
I'll tell you what, I mean, he's everything that you see. You know, I mean, he's just a good guy. He's a guy that gives money to the community and don't want everybody to ever talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
Right.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
And teammate wise, he's about winning.
Hey, get the ball, get the ball, man. My city, mine.
I've been a fan of his, really starting around the second year. He's putting up similar numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
When
He's on your track.
When somebody's putting up your numbers,
You like, hold up, what's up?
you're gonna check that person
Right.
out to see what kind of person it is. So, year one,
And doing those numbers with, he probably caught passes from 3 or 4 different quarterbacks in probably a couple
4 or
years.
5. I call him a contortionist.
Right.
He's had to twist his body around like a pretzel and then make those plays.
yeah. But at the end of the day, if you can ball, you can ball. I don't care who's
Can I see-
throwing me the rock, because the same thing happened with me. At the end of the day, I started off with Joe T.
Yeah.
Then I had Schrader.
Yeah.
Then I had Doug.
Yeah.
Then I had Mark. I had Stan. Mark.
Yeah.
Do wide receiver core make a great quarterback? And the reason why I
The
say
line
that,
makes a great quarterback.
The line?
The line first, receiver second, quarterback third.
Because I always said, and I'm going back to like Pittsburgh days, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Where like I felt like Bradshaw could throw the ball anywhere out of
I tell you
bounds,
what.
and Dave was going to go snatch that
But this
thing.
is the best thing about what I still love about Terry Bradshaw to this day is, as a receiver, I just want you to give me the
Put it out
opportunity.
there. You put it out there.
You just put it out there. Then it's my job to go get it.
Right.
But throw it around me. Give me the opportunity to make the play, because there's so many quarterbacks. If they see that we're this close, they go and they look around.
They don't bet on you.
Yeah, my kids, no. You throw it to me, and if it's around me, I'll take my chances. 7 out of 10, I'm gonna come down with that joint.
When you were in the league, and I know the salary is a lot different from what it was.
Don't make me go
Was
there,
it?
dog.
No, I'm just saying. What was something that you did that you felt like you was balling or flossing? Was it a car? Was it the house? What was it that made you feel like, oh, mama, I made it?
I mean, I think for a lot of guys, it's a childhood dream come true. Anytime your childhood dream becomes a reality, that's just huge to you.
Right.
I mean, so I think a lot of the guys, for the most part, you play the sport, you didn't ever get paid. You played the sport because you just love the sport.
Right.
You love to play. I think a lot of us are just competitive by nature. I think the better players, the best players are competitive by nature. They just are. They like to win, and they like to play against the best players so they can say that I kicked the best player's butt and I won.
It was pride
that's 100%.
in winning. I think that's something that's lacking now.
Me too.
Like, and again, not hating on money.
Yeah, don't
it's
hate.
like
Please don't.
No, I'm not hating. I
Yeah,
like
don't.
it.
Yeah.
But
And those guys deserve what they're getting.
Yeah.
They're 100%.
And they
deserve
work their
it.
butts
Yeah,
off.
they deserve
They're
to
not
get
slackers.
paid.
That's the thing about it. They're not slackers. These cats, they work their tails off. What they have not been convinced of yet is that the closer the team is, the better the team becomes.
It's like when you and your comedian buddies get together. The show is great, 100%. But what you guys do after the show
That's it.
together
Right.
is what it's about.
And it's a funny thing because like
that brotherhood and sisterhood that you guys have.
brotherhood, people always think like, oh, y'all out here partying, y'all looking for these chicks or whatever. And I just give an example, like when I'm on the road with Dave or whatever, after we do a show, of course we turn up a little bit, but the best part, like you say, is like talking about the show, talking about that bit I did, talking about, okay, 5 minutes before I went on stage, I was able to come up with this idea and do it and execute. It's the shop talk.
Right.
After that means more to us than anything.
And I agree that's what it is, because the rewards are going to come. That's just what it is. Like, rewards are going to come. Like, with you and Dave, you guys are beasts at what you guys do. Like, you come on, I laugh my
It's funny, yeah, when
ass
you open your
off,
mouth,
dog.
yeah.
I laugh. I was right there. I was at, I think, Verizon Center or Capital,
yeah.
whatever they were calling it now, right?
Recently,
You
just
came
while
in-
ago.
yeah, when y'all-
I gotta tell you a story about that.
Dude, you had me in tears.
I was
even
not-
harder than Dave had me in tears.
I was not supposed to be on that show because Dave said that he wanted to save me for the reveal. Like he wanted people to see me on the dock, right? Not doing stand-up. And here's me being supportive of the team. We doing arena tours. I'm going to these cities and I'm fiending to get in the game. And I'm not because he wants to save me, so I got to respect him. You know,
Right.
I
I'm
know-
glad you came out that
you know,
night.
But the thing about it was, but I was still hinting though, because I knew there was a problem with people getting in. You know what I mean? That like the protocol, because he locks up all the phones and everything.
Right.
So now this show needs to be stretched out, and I'm hitting this road manager like this. You know I'm ready. You know I'm ready, right? He was like, whatever, I got you, right? And then I think maybe like 20 minutes after that, he said, you going up, man. And I'm telling you, this comes from practicing everything. Stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. But I was really mad because I'm like this. All right, Dave, I understand you want to save me, but I'm home now. You know what I'm saying? I'm home, and I went up there, and I feel like you
Moms were
said,
there. You killed it, dog.
I always tell people, you know, you got people that, oh, this person's great, whatever. But once I get in the game, we are on the same
100%.
playing field.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
See, I love that.
I know your accolades. I know everything.
I love
and
it.
it's like, I think it's like healthy competition.
That's what it's supposed to be.
That's what it's supposed to be.
You're supposed to want to be the guy. I don't
Yeah.
care. Because I don't care who you are. You want to be the guy. Like the Posse. To me, I think we're the best trio that ever played the game.
Who pushed you the most? I know, and like I say, going back to healthy competition. Who pushed you the most?
The person that pushed me the most mostly was me. All I had to do was see. And when Ricky Sanders came to our team,
Yeah.
that's the first time I remember looking at Art. I said, he may be better than both of us. I'll look right to him. I said, he may be better. And me and Ricky are boys. We became roommates. Ricky would go to sleep at around 10:30, right? I'd be in sleep. I'd get up at 11. Run.
Right.
I'd be like, because I was like, he could take my job. I looked at it that way. He is good enough to take my job because he's so good. But I'm not going to let anybody take my job.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, I'm going to be the guy, and I respect all of them.
When you go to the stadium, do you miss it, or does that like jolt something in your brain, like you remember those times and remember those roars?
Only time that I miss, if they're having an off game or they're not playing well, and you hear the responses, because at the end of the day, Commander, Washington football team, Redskin, they're still my family. I look at it that way.
Yeah.
Whether I ever played with them or not, they became a part of our family. It's like that cousin that's 100th down the line. He's still your family,
Yeah.
and you're still going to watch out for that person if you can. So when people talk bad about them, that's the only time that I wish I could still play.
It's like everybody was together, and the smallest crowd had the biggest roar. You know, I love
They
the
had to
big
prove
house
something,
in Michigan. They had the most people, but RFK had the smallest crowd, capacity-wise, and the largest roar. When the place shook, nobody else's place shook. and people didn't run out like as an earthquake.
Right.
They knew that's just how we roll. I looked at people's faces, the opponents. It intimidated everybody to be in there, and it also made you in pregame warm-up, you felt invincible with these people. And I just think they were all like one. You know, when you go through transition, when you went from where you were, Pep, or wherever, to the stage, and I'm just young in the game of broadcasting, and the Minnesota Vikings, they're playing RFK, and this freak, he catches the ball, and they were losing. And it's the come from behind victories are the best victories.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When the opponent thinks they have you,
right,
and then you snatch it from them.
Because it's
Atlanta
overtime.
Falcons
It's
know about
overtime.
that.
Overtime. And this freak, he catches it out and turns up, fakes a guy out, and screams the end zone. And my dumb behind, I forgot I was working.
Oh, you yelled
No, that's
out.
how caught up I get.
Right.
See, that's why, I need to be sedated. And I forget that I'm working, and I'm screaming. I go up and chest bump him. I'm working.
Like, what are
And
you doing?
forget that this dude is no longer my teammate.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
supposed to be neutral. I can't be neutral. I don't ever want to be neutral.
But it looked great on TV as
Oh, it
well.
looked great on
Plays well,
TV.
because then you
Yeah.
did an interview, you had the mic in.
I had the microphone.
Oh, you had the mic and you
No,
just
dude.
You can lose
You
your
don't
job
feel
for
me.
that, right?
I could've.
Right.
Yeah, I was like.
But it showed perfectly.
What do you think is the most intense rivalry of any with the organization over the span of its history?
Well, after spanning the history, it probably has to be Cowboys.
72.
Even though I hated the Giants.
Yeah, 72, 82. What I said to my Cowboy brother, and I said, look, you guys are a nice program. Also, Dallas, we're not their rival. Everybody hates them.
Right.
Philly hates them. New York hates them. We
I
hate
think
them.
ours is more passionate.
No,
though.
no, you're saying that because you're from our side. And I say to Cowboy Clay, my buddy, whenever Super Bowl's on the line, we win. So you can talk all that trash you want about regular season. We played them twice. Winner go to the Super Bowl. They 0 for 2. 72, 82. Those championship games were at RFK, not in Dallas. They were at RFK. So it's King Kong Godzilla. You pick it, but the results don't lie. All I'm saying is that the fatigue game, we rolled down there. The no Danny no, they tried to jump up the fun bunch. These moments, and that's what's great about it, because those moments are real,
right?
And it's box office, but it only counts if we split at the least.
Minimum.
There ain't no damn rivalry if you win every year twice.
Right.
That's what I'm frustrated about now.
We
To
can't-
me,
right.
the whole division is special. You want to be in Philly. It's a great rivalry, but their fans kind of lead it. They're
Oh, they
more
nuts.
involved than the players.
Oh yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fans are crazy.
Their fans are-
Now, turning the worst fans in the league is Philly, hands down.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They're the worst fans. They're the worst hecklers. They're the worst. Everything. Let's just.
They'll
call it
turn
like
on
it is.
anybody. They'll turn on Santa Claus. They turn on our mascot, the
They beat
Indian at that time.
Chief Z broke his arm.
Yeah. They will
But
turn
the
on.
league lets them get away with it.
Right.
As a comedian, you probably already used it. They had a damn jail at their stadium.
Oh yeah.
Now, when you have a jail at your stadium,
You know
you just
it.
promoted crime.
Yeah, you like.
So
yo,
you done gave crime a home.
and they probably serve beer in that. jail.
Exactly, them idiots. You don't let a loved one go to Philly. That's how cold-blooded they are.
Yeah,
you don't
they
let
nasty.
anybody you care about go
Or
to
it's
the
a
game.
great strategic strategy
Yeah.
that you put in somebody's brain.
Yeah.
As soon as they first started out, I was like, "Hey, they got a jail?
They got a jail.
You
out
think
there.
of it, that's like, why
Yeah.
do they have a jail?
What type of music would you listen to before a game?
I was so in my head in terms of making up stuff that the team, my opponent, has said that they never said. Everson, like I hated Everson.
Yeah.
Because Everson was so good.
Yeah, he's good.
Like you want to be at least 70-30, 80-20 against your opponents. I'm 50-50 with Everson.
Right.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
So I got to start making up stuff that Everson's saying about Everson ain't said nothing to me.
But you just trying to psych
Yeah.
yourself
Oh yeah,
up.
one of the two.
Dexter said he listened to Freddie Jackson. That shit threw me off. I'm like, who listened to R&B? Don't you want to dance? I'm like, what the hell is going on? No pre-game rituals before you got ready to go.
I'm a Parliament guy. It's always
yeah?
been, Mothership.
Okay.
Oh, it's P-Funk. It's always been Parliament fucking up for me. Because the mothership is landing, that's how I always looked at it.
Right.
We coming up in here and it's gonna get ugly, but the rhythm of it it's not needed. It's okay. It don't matter. It's on. I'm always worried about people that need that. You got that. You can hear these people. We should hear them sitting in there.
Right.
What more do you need?
Jay-Z,
And,
Jay-Z was like, he said something about, like, before he performs, and it's kind of take me back to what you said is about psych yourself up. He says that he already puts himself in a place he wants to be before he goes out there. You know what I mean? Not getting charged up when you go on stage, but having that feeling like I could just stand up here and just stand still for a second. I'm already going to tear it down. That was part of his preparation and getting ready for games.
He was a scholar student. I was not a scholar student. Magna cum laude he was, but you know, when you're going for a test and you haven't studied,
Right.
when you open up the blue book,
And you get a
multiple choice. When you don't know one of the three that's down there, you going, maybe I shouldn't have done that cake party.
I shouldn't have done that.
And you know, maybe if I could do this again, I'd morph myself back into the library. That's what you never can go into a game with. Because we were so detail based and we had so much movement in our offense. Joe, you better know what you got to do.
People always ask me when, in regard to comedy, like, do you have a greatest show or anything like that? And I know with your history and records you broke and everything, is there like one of the best games you think you ever had, or the catch, the catch that you felt like this will go down in my legacy? And anytime you do highlight reels, they're always going to show.
You mean
this
other
game.
than the Minnesota game that I told you about? They caught that score in overtime. You mean over that?
I mean,
Are you being disrespectful right now?
I'm just
I mean, I know
saying,
you're
you know.
older than me, whatever, but y'all
I'm just
abusive.
saying, how you know
this
I'm
whole
older
team
than
in
you?
abuse.
How you know that?
Because I Googled. All right, that's the only way. That's the only way. I'm gonna cut my
I'm
shit
not coming up
too.
there.
I'm
I'm coming up there trying to do a baby commercial, baby oil commercial. Something
That
you
was-
talking about?
that was
I'm
what-
older than him.
So okay,
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no, that what you felt was a great moment, but going to the person who I asked the question to,
Even though I played with him and covered his whole career,
you covered his whole
still,
career, and it's not out of his mouth. We speak about his mouth, out of his mouth.
I have to go with Dougie in Super Bowl. My first Super Bowl. Childhood dream come true.
2 touchdowns was it?
I just won.
What?
Just won. Ricky had 2. Stole one of mine. But Ricky had 2. And
You said he stole. How did he?
you always say
What? How does he steal one of your
first of all,
touchdowns?
he's Doug's favorite receiver. You know.
Yeah.
You should make next time you talk to Doug, ask him his favorite receiver. It'd be Ricky. And but I got the go-ahead touchdown to that game. And that's just, I'm childhood dumb. That my whole career, I wanted to be in the Super Bowl. My whole life, I wanted to be in the Super Bowl. And
How did
being
you
in the Super
celebrate
Bowl-
that? How did you celebrate?
I mean, because it's so much, you know. And then the next day was my second Pro Bowl. I was going to Hawaii the next day, so I was just quiet. I was just because it's straining. Because
Right.
the whole thing leading up to it is then you finally win, just kind of like.
But it wasn't a moment like, you
this
know, I know they
pressure.
do the champagne in the locker room,
But
but it wasn't.
but that's just me. It was just more like, we freaking won the Super Bowl. My childhood dream it came to fruition. Like I was just quiet, you know, and but I tell you, who should have been excited was Ricky. Like this is the story that we should. This is how Ricky's not in our ring of fame yet. I'm clueless about that.
Well, you want Roland McKenzie and
There's so
Daryl
many.
Grant,
There's
so don't get
there's so
started
many.
on that.
I'm clueless.
Because he's going to get mad.
Ricky,
I'm not gonna get
He gonna
mad.
get, I already
No,
see
I'm
he's
not gonna
sensitive.
get mad.
I love a brother that's sensitive. See,
But
he
Ricky-
should have let me know this.
It's
You know,
y'all,
Ricky-
man.
He
Y'all
shouldn't have let me
Ricky's
know
like
that
my
he's
twin.
sensitive.
Ricky's like
See,
my twin, though.
I'm gonna just restrain.
But that's what most people don't know.
I'm not sensitive.
There was no posse.
I'm not sensitive.
in Super Bowl 20.
Am I sensitive?
There was no posse in Super Bowl 22. We was regular set. There was not. We did 3 wides every now and then.
Right.
Every now and then. What people fail to remember is this. Art Monk got hurt early in that year.
That's right.
He got hurt, and that's why Ricky came in, and Ricky started playing at Z. Because Ricky knew every position. He knew Z, Y, X. he
Kinda had to. Everybody but you had
he
to.
knew every position, right? So Ricky comes in, and Ricky's kicking ass. Like I told you, my first song was like, I may be better than both of us.
Right.
You know. What people forget is about 3 games left in the season, Art's back. He's back. Ricky starts. We go in Super Bowl 22. Ricky breaks Swan record down in a quarter. Pretty much in a quarter. He did all that in a quarter, and he dismantles Lynn Swan's record. It had been hanging it was Swan's record. We was kids watching Swans. That's how long
Right.
he had the record, right? The next year in training camp, they say first team up. We all go in the huddle. Neither Art or Ricky step into the huddle. After about 20 seconds, Art steps into the huddle.
I know.
That's how Art.
That's
how
ultimate
Art
respect.
kept his starting job.
Yeah.
Just that way.
Yeah.
And then, and we're all boys, but me and Ricky are boys.
Yeah.
Like we're boys. Like Art would be like, Gary, get out. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be like, we're not doing any of that, Gary, get out. Because, but me and Ricky are boys. Like, you know, we're gonna break curfew. We're gonna break curfew together. Art's not leaving curfew.
They
He's gonna
leave,
be in
yeah.
the bed.
Yeah.
He's what you want your kid to be. Me and Ricky, probably not.
Right.
Probably not. So we get back, and I curse Ricky. I'm like, what are you doing? Why didn't you step into the huddle? I mean, this is a Super Bowl record breaker. I'm like, dude, why didn't you step into the huddle? And then Ricky gets fired up. Ricky gets fired up. So he goes talk to Joe. And he asks that question. So, and that meeting, the evening meeting, Joe comes back out before you. This has nothing to do with anything. I just want to let you guys know we got 3 starting receivers. And that's how the posse was created.
True story.
Young comics always come to me and they want the shortcut. They'll say, Donnell, if you had one piece of advice to give a young comic coming up, what would it be? You guys, in the field that you're in football and everything, if you had a piece of advice to maybe further someone's career or their character, what would that be?
For me, it would be like, don't listen to your critics and discipline. Like for me, I'm too small to play. You're too small to play. You're never going to be that. You're too small. My thing is like I'm a chip guy. Like I want a chip on my shoulder. If a chip fall out, I'm gonna put it right back on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like never listen to somebody who can't do what you do. Well, I'm gonna listen to you.
Right.
You know, like the first time one of our position coaches. Love the guy, right?
Yeah,
I mean, good guy.
I know
good,
exactly what
but
you're talking
he's
about.
never played my position, so why am I going to listen to you?
Right.
It'd be like me trying to tell you comedy.
Right.
Why would you
I
ever
understand
listen to
that.
me and I'm not funny? What would you ever listen to me about? So I just told him, like, hey, Jack, just take the credit. Take the credit, but you're going to get me cut trying to get me to do what you asked me to do. You
Right.
just go take the credit because I'm going to go ball. So for me, it's just discipline and don't believe your critics because the critics are wrong because typically they have never done what you've done.
That's what makes them critics, Doc.
Yeah. You have to educate yourself. You have new money. So you have to have a new attitude and a new disposition and understand how to hire people to help you. Vetting the people that will teach you what you don't know. You're not going to go back and learn how to deal with money in 1 year.
Right.
So the decisions have to be the people you choose to be in your circle. Your posse is the most important thing you'll ever
See,
do.
I don't know about that because I don't make the kind of money.
No, the money, people around you. You're going to end up being about as successful as they are. Just look around. And then who going to fix you? Now you got money. Because if you don't fix yourself, you don't get the money back.
Right.
Look at those before you. History tells us dealing with money, first generation money, is very difficult.
Yeah.
Most people lose it. Are you going to be a statistic? Or are you going to break it and do what you need to do? Martin Mayhew took himself through law school while playing.
Right.
Now he's in the front office of the Commanders. So did Mark Murphy. He's president of the Packers. Wake the F up and realize what you don't know and fix it.
My story was a young comic. He was on the same management I was. He said, Donnell, what one piece of advice will you give a new comic coming up? What one piece of advice? And I said, don't ask for advice. Everything you're gonna learn from experience and getting on the mic. That's what I told him. He said, thank you, right? Same comic, a year later, same green room, comes up to me and says, Donnell, what one piece of advice will you give a young comic coming up in the business? I said, first off, you don't listen to advice. I told you, mother. Don't ask. Let the mic tell you what's going to do. You don't need that. Just go out there and try to do what you can do to be the best, and you will get the benefits of that, and you'll get the rewards of that.
Yeah.
I
You'd be a good posse member, right?
Oh, he already in.
No, I would not with you on the side. Not with you
No,
on
no,
the side.
I wouldn't mess with you.
So,
Now I
yes,
know
you
you're
would.
sensitive. I wouldn't.
If you mess with
once
me,
I know you sensitive,
I'm not sensitive.
back off.
Who said I was sensitive?
Dude, I ain't gonna never say nothing.
You can't say.
Because see, what I don't want to do is I don't want to pull you away from your comfort level.
You can tell
got a
somebody.
zone.
You can tell somebody about to be disrespectful when they start doing all the extra
No,
hand
no,
stuff.
I'm just saying. No,
And
I'm
see,
good.
Donnell,
Good.
you were here, and I
good.
know sensitivity
we
is
good.
over there.
We good.
All right, I'm learning. This has been a great opportunity for me, being able to interview and talk and being disrespected by people that I grew to love. But this right now represents 90 years of history, and I will say this and beep it: hail to the Redskins. Peace.
Hell to the W.